Hey everyone, my name's Yvonne Villarreal and I'm a reporter here at the Los Angeles Times. And joining us today is Gael Garcia Bernal. Thanks
Hello.
for joining us.
Thank you very much.
He stars in Amazon's Mozart of the Jungle, which sort of gives us the inner workings of a New York orchestra, and you play the conductor Rodrigo.
Yes.
It's sort of bittersweet to have you today, given the news of this morning about Prince's death, and given how the show really celebrates music and all the power that it has with people. Why don't you talk about your thoughts on the passing of Prince? Were you a big fan?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I tweeted something about how now with music or with literature, I mean, we just wake up every day fully content in some way and trying to change, and then we hear news of people dying, of course, and I mean, post-war culture in a way is the pillars of that culture are kind of slowly dying, and that is, I mean, it's part of life, of course, and but we're, I mean, they have so much to do with us, and yes, Prince, absolutely. I mean, in the 80s, I mean, early 90s, I mean, I remember very closely his songs coming up, and it wasn't like the way that they do now. I mean, it was in a different way. You would hear the song once, and you wouldn't possibly not hear it again until you ran into another radio station that somebody was playing it. I mean, when you were a little kid, you don't know where to find it. You don't know how to. So I would remember like. The movie Purple Rain. I remember I couldn't watch it because it was a bit like
it's a little risque.
Yeah, exactly. It's for older people. But as a kid, I remember like incorporating like, okay, who's that guy who kind of is very flamboyant and in a way like Rodrigo, like the character. I mean, he's like very out there, and his attitude was a very interesting one because it wasn't extremely kind of how do you say, serious about the coming out, the expression, he was playing a game, and he was actually putting that forward. It was dance, it was make believe, it was a game, and that's very appreciated. I mean, that it's not taken that seriously because it can be very serious, but if you auto-define it from the beginning, self-define it, it's like you hit a brick wall in a way. So yes, it's a shame that he passed away. I mean, very young as well.
Very young, yeah. I think 57. Do you find that doing this show has sort of made you more in tune with music, or like made you think about it differently?
Yes.
Even when you hear it, is it sort of heightened now, like the notes and stuff?
Yeah, in a kind of surprising way, even in a cliched kind of way. I mean, now I listen to, whenever I listen to classical music, modern classical music, or from whatever time, I know where the instruments are, I know where it's coming from in a way, and in a way I suspect, and I build myself a story behind it. Of how, why, what's the game, what's the search here and there, and of course I do it with with whatever parameters I have, which are very incredibly super basic. I mean, I have no idea what I mean. People study this forever, but I mean, it's what's interesting about music is that it is not like a common language as such. It is basically everybody makes a story behind music. Everybody has something to invent behind what they're listening, and that's what's incredible, and that's what the power of music is. I mean, it's a very powerful song, 3-minute, incredibly good pop song means something different for each and every one of us. I mean, and that's incredible. That's what's, I don't know, so powerful about it.
Did you find that you started downloading more classical music once you took on the role? Like, is your phone or your...
Yeah, well, not actually downloading it, but YouTube is a great idea. I mean, great tool for watching music from ever. I mean, you can see recordings of Strauss, for example, old recordings, and Stravinsky, and I mean, and at the same time you can be up to date with what's going on with modern classical music. I mean, it's somebody in the world of classical music is doing a really good job of diffusion in terms of using YouTube. I mean, it's a really great tool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your kids are always on YouTube, right?
No, I don't let them.
My niece is like always on something. Yeah.
Oh no!
I'll tell her
It's gonna happen
say
soon.
get off of it.
Okay, but it's gonna happen soon. I'm kind of holding it.
And I just thought about it. Like, I should have introduced you as Golden Globe winner, Gael.
Okay.
Is that like now a requirement whenever someone?
Whenever my kids talk to me, yes.
You're like, yes, Golden Globe
Yes,
winner,
exactly.
Dad.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. How was that? Like, I think you said afterwards that it felt like unexpected. I think everyone thought Jeffrey was going to win, and it was such a nice moment. Like the look on your face up there, like total glee. Talk about that. And
I was very surprised. I was really very surprised. I didn't expect it at all. I mean, I didn't expect the nomination, and then never expected to win. I mean, no, never expected it. I guess at that moment, right before they say your name or right before you get the phone call or something, you really, I mean, I felt I was just, myself in a way, and then all of a sudden when you hear your name and being mentioned and you go, what? Okay, wow, this is great. And what's really fantastic and maybe kind of metaphysical about this is that, I mean, life goes on in the same way. I mean, the next day I had to be doing pancakes for my kids with the same kind of rigor and kind of like with no mercy, But at the same time, there is a life that's kind of becoming bigger, which has to do with the character and with the series. And that's fantastic. I mean, all of a sudden, a fictionary life has bigger wings, and Rodrigo is a little bit more I don't know, lives a little bit more, and I like that.
How can he live more than he already does? He does whatever he wants.
Yeah, I think that's why I like the character. Because you can get away with anything.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this season. He is a very sort of chaotic type of personality, and a lot was going on around him this season. There was the strike talks, and he went. His sort of mentor wanted him to fill in for him in Mexico, and all these things were going on, the hearing problem. Talk a little bit about what we saw with him this season.
Well, it's actually quite relevant. I mean, the whole kind of strike issue, I mean, it's something that's happening a lot in different orchestras all over the world. Most prominently right now, there is a big issue with the English National Opera, for example. And it's quite, I mean, it's quite curious that the chorus was the part that kind of decided not to go to work.
Yeah.
So what happens without the chorus? There is something, I don't know. When those things fall into the real world, all of a sudden, I mean, music in a way can be easily put out from that real world into something that lives forever and then doesn't, I mean, just needs a listener and a player, and that's all that's needed. It doesn't need a contract, doesn't need a kind of an infrastructure again. So that's the dichotomy that the characters are on. In a way, they love what they do, but at the same time, it's true that they cannot sustain themselves, and they want, they don't want to be pushed over. They want to be respected in a way and treated as a proper job, And so I mean, it's an interesting pathway, and I don't know where the series is gonna go now. And even if I did, I think I would still lie about it. Yes, I would
You're
not
not
say.
You're not going to tell us?
I'm not going to say anything, but I really don't know. That's the big difference. I really have no idea. Where it's going to, no, I have no idea where it's going to go. But I think something will happen. I mean, last we heard, Rodrigo lost his job, and he kind of signed a
non-compete for like almost 3 years.
For almost 3 years, which he tried to negotiate.
2.9.
2.9.
I was like, come on, you could do better than that.
He's not a very good negotiator.
No. Not good at all with that.
No.
How about, what was your reaction when you were told you were going to be conducting at the Hollywood Bowl alongside Gustavo? We saw this in the first episode.
I think if it would have come from somebody else, because it was actually Gustavo who kind of proposed.
Posed it.
And he was on the phone and he said, "We want you to you know, we were talking in Spanish, of course. And he said, "Hey man, yeah, come down, and and you do the Figaro's weddings, and the marriage of Figaro."
Yeah,
sorry,
the marriage of Figaro.
Okay, yeah, okay. It's only him who can. It was the pressure was on, of course, but at the same time.
How could you pass it up?
If he says, "Yeah, you can do it,"
Yeah.
I go, "Okay, well, if you say so." But honestly, I think you're very brilliant. But I think you're really making the worst mistake in your life.
I think he really just wanted to be on the show too.
At the same time.
At the same time.
But I'm so grateful with him, and I really, appreciate everything he's done and all the help that he's given me and given to the show as well, and the LA Philharmonic as well. They've been really, really helpful. But at the same time, I know that for a fact that Rodrigo wouldn't exist without Gustavo. It's he gave the chance to incorporate this flamboyant, young kind of. He's actually younger than me, but young kind of, I don't know. This tour de force, this character that comes and disrupts the whole biosphere, and he can do that, and that's why Rodrigo exists. And that's why we can go to such kind of levels with Rodrigo as well, because he's a genius. He's a person that I don't know. He's fantastic. It's incredible what people that live with music, that grow with music, how they think, how they operate.
I have a friend who says he sees colors when he hears music. Like he sees it play out with colors. It's very interesting.
Absolutely. They hear like a different construction and different kind of architecture and stuff. But at the same time, life again is not. There is no. You cannot really. There's no pentagram that you can follow. There's no scales. You're inventing that throughout life, and and on your deathbed, you're thinking, now,
now I get it. Yeah.
Now we could like perform.
Yeah.
Before it was just a rehearsal. Now let's just.
But I was there that night, and it was like really cool to see. Like, how was it for you, sort of being out there with such a big audience there?
It was nerve-wracking. It was, yeah.
Did you do a prayer before you went on stage?
I did everything.
Yeah?
I held on to everything I could. Yes, of course. I can't even remember what I did, but I remember just for like full 30 minutes I was thinking, what am I doing? What is this? What is this? What is this? Why? No. Because it was like, okay, saving the distances in a way, but at the same time, I'm pretending to, Yeah. But it's like, okay, some actor is gonna play Michael Jordan or a really great, and all of a sudden they invite him to play in a real match, and has to kind of like,
suddenly be that.
And you're like, what's nice about it is that it goes hand in hand with this kind of really fantasy that maybe as a kid I had, or I think I once dreamt that. Okay, if I'm a method actor, then if I'm supposed to play Messi, I can play like Maradona or Messi. I can play football like Maradona. So I'll just incorporate the acting techniques to my football game, and therefore I'll be so much better.
Right.
Of course, it doesn't work.
I wish it worked like that.
But again, the whole idea kind of makes it going. But of course, I knew that this was just. Fortunately, it's Rodrigo, and Rodrigo's so full of confidence.
He is.
At the same time, it's like whatever mistake me, Gael, did as conducting, Rodrigo goes like, I thought it was thought of. Rodrigo can kind of solve it and say like, yeah, it's part of the whole thing.
Have you gotten better at like being in front and doing the conducting? Like, did he give you tips, Gustavo?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said, just go there and do it. And I'm like,
just go there and do it.
Yeah. No, he gave me he definitely.
Did he say like how to hold the baton? Did he give you tips?
Absolutely, no. He gave me like certain things, but when I say he just told me just go there and do it.
Just feel it.
It had to. It was like the best advice as well. It's like, come on, at the end of the day, this is like I mean, we all know you're pretending.
Yeah.
We all support you. You
Right.
know, we all want you to win in a way. Like let's just, and it's a comedy as well. Thank God. I
Yeah.
mean, because if this was serious, then it would be like okay, it
Yeah.
would be involuntary comedy, and that's the worst. That's the worst. But in this case, yeah. I mean, it's comedy, and I love being up there. I mean, there is. I think the best thing I heard when coming down, I mean, apart from all the congratulations of everybody and the mezcales that I downed like immediately, very quickly, was there was many fans that wait outside, no, outside of the Hollywood Bowl, and one of them was Mexican, and he was like, hey, Gael, man, great, you were just like Cantinflas.
I love that.
And I remember a Cantinflas movie where he actually goes up and he like accidentally runs into a kind of like, I mean, it's a kind of expected sketch of a comedian, no? To run into a like an operation room and start to operate,
Start
you know,
doing
like whatever.
it, yeah.
Okay, so the same in this case. I mean,
cool.
Cantinflas ran into an orchestra and started
Just do it.
Yeah, and so whenever he shaked his drum in like this, the drum would like. So it was a bit like
funny.
that. Yeah.
Do you find that like do you need to stretch before doing all of it? Like, do your arms ever hurt? Because it's a lot of movement.
The next day I'm like if I was boxing or something, you know. Like, I'm completely tense here, and because of, I think I have to. I forget always, but I have to.
You have to.
I mean, whenever we're doing a piece, I prepare it together with a teacher and with mentors, with friends, and with a lot of videos as well. I mean, and just feeling it, you know, and incorporating it, because at the end of the day, also there is no like straight way of conducting.
Right.
I mean, it is about
Feeling,
getting your own way of expression, you know, in a sense. Yet at the same time, it cannot be dancing. But me as a very kind of, you know, it's beyond. I mean, like beyond amateur level where I'm at. I cannot help it but sometimes dance for the music, you know. Yeah, exactly, because it's like you get, but it is not definitely not dancing.
Are you always breaking the scene then? Do you find yourself dancing?
Yeah, sometimes. Yes. And there's a point where I find myself just going to, and then we go like, okay, let's do it again, please, because let's just remember that it's not dancing. I have to enjoy myself, but I cannot let myself enjoy too much. You know, I have to like incorporate it into some other way. But fortunately, there's always great teachers that give me like certain hints and certain pieces of, you know, like, okay, it's great that you do this, but as long as you keep on with the tempo, or that you recover the tempo and then you come back to it, that's good, you know. So.
Speaking of dancing, I'm sad that we're sort of locked in here with our mics, because I saw you teach James Corden how to salsa.
Oh yeah,
Not fair.
Yeah,
if
that was.
we had mics that were handheld, I would make you do that with me.
Oh my God! Okay,
that was really good.
But you think so? But it was very dangerous also.
Why?
Well, because James just went for it, and there was a point where
when you guys did the dip.
Yeah, exactly. He did the dip, and he was like, oh my God, James, you're gonna like break your neck, like, and I you know, to hold James, you know, yeah. I mean, no.
Like
it's not him. It's me that I'm very weak. That I'm very weak.
How about, I mean, the show filmed a few episodes in Mexico. What was that like, to sort of bring it there and to show a part of Mexico City that we maybe don't often see on the TV
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was so much fun as well, because it was fortunately with the guys, with all the team from Mozart in the Jungle. I mean, they asked me like who to hire and who to go to, and so it was done with friends, you know, and it was done with the production team, were people that I've worked with before, and it was just fantastic to be around, you know, to be doing this show there with all the, you know, the rhythm we have going already, and to incorporate it into this kind of mythology, and it was really fun, and to go to Tepoztlán and shoot there, they loved it as well. They loved it, and in Mexico City is just, I mean, we only shot one episode there, but you can shoot like I don't know, many series there. It's just so fantastic.
I want to return of Abuelita because she was so cute.
Oh yeah, in Tepoztlán, yeah. Yeah, great town, beautiful. Tepoztlán as well is
Haven't
beautiful.
been there. Yeah.
It's incredible. It's just like right outside Mexico City. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna take a question from Twitter.
Oh no. No. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, but that can be very. That can be.
I think it's good.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll ask good questions.
All right.
How does the political inspire your personal life, in and outside of your art?
Okay.
You're outspoken on politics and stuff.
Yeah. Well. Yes, I feel very. Yes, influenced by the politics of it all, but I must say that in a way I don't see a separation. You know, like I don't see a division of my daily life with the politics, because politics is at play with everything I kind of end up doing, or and I think maybe it has to do with being born in Mexico as well, that being born into a family that was, I don't know, conscious about that in a way, but at the same time, the context I grew in, I kind of, I don't know, made me feel it is a driving force, definitely, for me. I mean, because it gives me something to grab onto, and I think at the same time there is a lot of I mean, to put it into very perhaps bad phrase, but I think there is an interesting discomfort that goes on, and a very joyful discomfort as well, that goes on with trying to fight for the common good. You know, I think it feeds me, and it keeps me going in a way, and it questions my beliefs, my certainties, makes me question everything as well, and makes me learn, makes me curious, and it makes me feel that everything is more worthwhile. So yeah, I feel it's very involved into whatever I do. Yeah.
There's a lot going on in the U.S. politics-wise. I'm sure you're aware. I've heard you speak on it. You guys start production on season 3 in June, you said?
Yes, exactly. June. Yeah.
Are you ready to go back in?
Oh yeah, I love this show.
You ready for your hairpiece thing?
I'm so ready, and I actually wanna. I don't know. I wanna do something crazy for this time. I mean, I don't have any like commitment afterwards that I have to have the hair this or that way. So maybe Rodrigo's gonna go into some kind of
he'll have to go in a
Hare
funk
Krishna kind of situation, maybe, or I mean, or maybe that's to Rodrigo also. Maybe we should do something quite like the opposite. You know, like I don't know, but definitely I'm looking forward, because it's like a repertoire company. You know, I mean, like we arrive there and we are faced with stuff to do, and the whole team, which is a great team as well. It's really lovely. I mean, all the actors. I mean, really joyful and nice people.
Well, the viewers want something to like happen with Haley, or highlight, as Rodrigo says. But I
know,
so
right?
We're waiting for that, but she left with someone else.
Right. So how does Rodrigo deal with that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I also want something to happen, but she's just acting like, you know, like she's just behaving.
Whatever.
I don't know. She's like. But she's gonna learn, I think.
And she's gonna learn.
Yeah, she's gonna learn that maybe what she was looking for was just right the corner. Yeah, exactly.
Well, Gael, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Guys, you can keep tuning into our contender chats here at latimes.com. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You were great.